We're going on a ride on Big Bus Miami. I have been on several big bus tours before, and the Miami tour is a little different than others, and I'm going to help you understand exactly what you can expect. I'm also going to answer the question as to whether or not it's worth the money. It's quite expensive in my opinion. You spend about $50 for the day ticket, and I'm going to show you exactly what that day ticket buys you, so stay tuned. We're going to explore all over Miami on the big bus. Big Bus has bankers hours. It runs pretty much from 9 to 5. There's also a night tour, but I think your best bet is to go on the day trip tour. It's going to run you about $50 for an adult and about $40 for a child, so it's not inexpensive for a family of 4. You're looking at almost $200. All the big buses in Miami are double-decker bus, and the first thing you need to grab once you get inside is these earbuds, and I'm going to show you exactly what you do with those, but this is what the top deck looks like, and most of the folks who travel on the big bus want to be on the top deck. There's a few who maybe don't like the wind and they're on the bottom, or they don't like being up that high, but pretty much the best view you're going to get is going to be on the top deck. The earbuds we saw earlier, you plug it in here, and the great thing about that is that it has 2 channels, one in Spanish and the other in English. The most common port of departure is going to be that Bayside area. That's because that's really a central area. But you can pretty much, once you buy your ticket, pick it up at any one of the different locations. Now, this right here is Wynwood Walls, and we're going to go through several of the main locations that the big bus travel to. So what essentially you do is you get on, it takes you to several locations throughout the city, a total of 10 stops. If you get on the bus and you're doing an all-day, tour, it probably takes you around maybe 2.5 hours to make a full loop around. And this is what the stops look like. You're scattered all throughout the city, a total of 10 different stops in the most scenic areas of Miami. If you have ever been on a big bus before, there's usually a driver and a conductor. The conductor talks about what the city is, and it's a live person up front. Well, this is an audio recording. Here's a little bit of what that sounds like.
On your right is the original United States Federal Courthouse, built in 1931. It is of great importance because examples of the neoclassical style are so rare in Miami. You will shortly have the opportunity to contrast this building with Miami's new federal courthouse.
Riding atop of a big bus is certainly one way of seeing the city, but there's nothing like getting down on the ground and experiencing the city on a real authentic level. And here is what we experienced while we were in Little Havana. Another upside about traveling on the big bus is that you get to see the city in all its glory. Usually the big bus goes to the areas of the city that you want to be in. Those 10 stops are going to be locations that are tourist friendly. They're usually going to be pretty safe. You always have to exercise general caution, but usually when you get off at the stop, there's things to see and do that will help make the day fill up. The bus is only a 2.5-hour ride. However, it's wonderful. You get to see the Bayside of Miami, you get to see the city, you get to see so many different aspects, the ports, and then Little Havana, and all that the city has to offer. It is an absolute great deal and value for the money. Now, I have been on the big bus in both when the conductor is there and listen to the audio. Now, the audio, you certainly get a ton of information. It never stops going. And when there's nothing to see, it plays music. Now, it has some type of a tracking mechanism, so it knows when you get to a certain area. So it plays the right audio at the right time. So you're not just getting useless information. The information is relevant to where you actually are. So here is just another snapshot of what the audio sounds like to see if you like it better than a conductor. If you've ever been on a big bus that has a conductor versus the audio version, let me know in the comment section which you prefer.
When the 700-room Lowe's Miami Beach on your right opened in 1996, It was the first major hotel to open on the beach in 30 years. The Loews connects to the historic San Moritz, which was fully restored to original Art Deco splendor.
Now, as far as me personally, this is a personal preference, I prefer the conductor. I've seen good conductors and I've seen bad ones, and the good ones are really, really good. They're so good that you'll stay on the bus for the entire 2 hours, because oftentimes they work for tips and they try to entertain you. They have lots of joke to make it lively. So when you're in traffic and it's kind of like a dead time, they really know how to spice it up and make it very worthwhile and interesting. So for me personally, I prefer the conductor that's on the bus, but Miami doesn't have any conductors, so that's something you have to weigh. Another great thing about the city bus is you get to see the city from a different perspective. You're high up, so you get a chance to kind of look down on everything, and you just feel like you're floating on air as you're on the top of that bus. Now, is it worth $50? If you're new to Miami and you don't know the city that well and you want to be taken to all the major hot spots in one day for $50, that's a great value. If you try to do an Uber or take public transportation, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure things out. The big bus is a convenient, easy, and safe way to really see the city. So in my opinion, I had a great time on the big bus. It's, in my opinion, absolutely worth the money. But if you've ever done the big bus before, especially if you've done Miami, please let me know in the comment section what you think.